gotta believe in yourself, huh? Who else gon' believe in you? Who else gon' believe in you? Who else gon' believe in you? Believe in yourself, yeah. Who else gon' believe in you? Who else gon' believe in you?
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Manny Hall Show once again. I got a great couple with me doing their thing, husband and wife couple. They got stuff separately and got stuff together. I thought it was dope to just have them both together so we can just kind of get it in, because it's really good to see couples really doing their thing and just to see the differences and also see the similarities and see how they work cohesively together but still have such a dope product to be able to provide to the people. So y'all say hi to them.
Hey,
How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
All right, y'all ready to get it in?
Yes.
All right, let's go. Manny Hall Show. Peace. Hey, y'all, what's going on?
Not much. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, man. Thank you guys for taking the time on an early Saturday morning to be a part of the show. Because I tell you what, man, I was hugging that bed, man. Then, as I told you guys before the interview, I had to wake up, try to get the baby together. That's a struggle, but they got to eat, they got to get changed, and they just sit there and stare at you for hours until you do something.
Right.
So,
Right. Those innocent faces.
Absolutely. All right, so please tell the people your names and what you do.
You go first.
Sure. So, hello everyone. My name is Arnisha Rogers, and I am married to the handsome Alexis Rogers, Lex Daniels.
Say that.
And he's my high school sweetheart. So
that's
we've
what's
been
up.
married for almost 22 years.
We've been together for 22 years.
Yeah, 22. Yeah, we've been together, not married.
Right.
For 22 years. So myself, my husband and myself has formed MKT Photography. And oftentimes people ask what that means, and it's my 3 kids. So we have 3 children, and it started with my love for photography and then my husband's love for digital media and behind the scenes.
Gotcha.
Doing all the editing and everything. So we've been going strong for almost, 7 years now? Yeah, and we're really enjoying it, love it. And that's what we do as far as the MKT side. For myself, I'm a licensed professional counselor with the state of Ohio, and I'm also a therapist. So
Nice.
I use both of them a lot of times. They go hand in hand. Oftentimes people aren't comfortable behind the camera, don't know what to do, or some self-esteem issues may come out, or they want to talk about that.
Yeah.
And so that's where my therapy comes in with photography as well. So I
love
that.
that. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Sure. Aside from MKT Photography, I branched off a few years ago and started doing video, and so that side is Lex Daniel. So I provide digital media service for people, video, photography as well, more so events.
The videos is just amazing too, by the way.
Thank you, I appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you so much. I've worked with you before.
Yeah.
So the family and every other aspect of photography is my wife's part as far as MKT goes. I just kind of do event photography and the videography because I like that. I want to branch off.
Yeah.
So I'm getting into After Effects and Cinema 4D, and
I love it.
I love it. This is something I have a passion for, and you spend hours and hours doing that.
Yeah.
And just because you love doing that. So
yeah. I think that's totally amazing. What I want to do real quick is talk about what you just had mentioned when you were first speaking about how the counseling and how people are comfortable. Like at this day and age, guys, like I don't know if you guys have really looked at it retrospectively, but people are so uncomfortable with who they are.
Absolutely.
And it's like on and off camera, it's like they just hate the way they look, hate the way they talk, their hair, clothes, everything is just like, if y'all can just be a little bit more comfortable with who you are, like you will go so far in life.
Yeah, it's crazy because my wife actually had a headshot, I believe she was doing for a businesswoman, and she. Well, you tell the story.
Sure. So that's exactly what was going on. And one of the things that she mentioned to me, I noticed because when you're behind the camera and you're stressed or you're worried and you're thinking about all the million things that are going on, that shows in your pictures.
Yeah.
So this is what I was seeing in this individual, and I said, you know what, let's take a break and let's talk about what's really going on. How are you feeling? You know?
Yeah.
And she began to do that. You know, she's like, you know, there's a lot going on in my life right now.
Gotcha.
I have a lot of challenges. I'm not so comfortable. I can't wait because of all those things that are going on.
Yeah.
I'm doing it by myself, you know, and then she got a little personal, a little more transparent.
Yeah.
And as she was talking about those things, we started to talk about how that affects the look that you're trying to get. And if we're trying to create that look, we want to make sure that you're comfortable.
Yeah.
And so we started to bring out different musics that she liked, you know, cutting those things on. Because I don't rush my clients.
Yeah.
I try to just, and that's all the more reason why I don't do photography in the studio. And I like them to be comfortable as they can be in their own environment or where they're comfortable.
You guys, I gotta stop. I'm loving this interview already, and it's just started. Like, I know that this thing's about to get really, really dope and interesting. So please keep talking. I might interrupt you again. But it's so interesting what you said about allowing them to feel comfortable, being in their element. That's kind of like the thing I do with the show. Like, when people always ask, well, where's the studio at? And I was like, there's no Manny Hall studio, but like, I'll meet you where you are. Like, hey, I got some little office space in Maple Heights. We can do it there.
Right.
But it's like, I want to catch people in their element. I want them to feel comfortable. And it's so interesting that you said that, you know, it could be a ton of other things going on in their life. And then if a photographer just shows up like, hey, we're going to take some shots, they got the weight of the world on them.
Yes.
And they're just trying to put this little fake smile on, and then that comes out.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, it shows. It really does show. And after, I know, piggybacking on that, after the situation kind of occurred and they were talking and whatnot, she opened up. And like the pictures were like crazy nice, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She started to laugh.
Yeah, and she saw the difference.
She bust out laughing.
Because my wife actually showed her pictures before.
Right.
Yeah.
And then showed her after.
Wow.
Like to see the difference, and she was like, "Oh my goodness!" So when you're forcing yourself to smile, or where you're just trying to like, okay, this is what it's gonna be. It looks so much more. What's the word I want to look for? Unnatural. And for us, it's lifestyle. So we want your natural. So when she began to bust out laughing, I took about 30 frames.
Wow.
And so then I'm showing her, this is who you are.
Yeah.
This is, you know, the image that you show. This is who you portray yourself to be. Although there are a million things going on within inside of us, we still can laugh through those things sometimes.
Now, what made you guys want to add that element to it?
What element?
Just really allowing them to feel more comfortable and really understanding there's a psychology behind taking these photos. Because I had never heard that before you guys just mentioned it, but it makes so much sense.
It is, and we want to keep, like everybody else, you know, we want to have a business that thrives.
Yeah.
You know, we want to move forward and it thrives, right?
Yeah.
You know, we want to move forward and make this thing a little big.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
and knowing that she does counseling, why not incorporate it too?
Yeah.
You know, because that'll bring a different element that MTK has that somebody else might not.
Absolutely.
You know, not to be like we're above anybody else.
It totally makes sense.
Yeah, you know.
Well, let me say this: we never knew it was gonna be like this.
Gotcha.
God just he really shaped it
I
and
love
formed it.
Yeah.
So we didn't have no plan like I'm gonna be a counselor.
Yeah.
You're gonna be a digital media artist, and it happened. God made that happen. And we're like, why not? You know, why not team up? Why not do this together? And then with the counseling piece coming behind it, that was just an added, I would say an incentive to it, and helping people get through. And sometimes I'm putting my camera down. Like, what's up? You know,
Yeah, and I'm like
wanna
this.
talk this through?
Yeah. That's real.
So, and that's, I don't know. We are both in the helping field. We love to help people. We thrive. Like it drives us.
Yeah, it makes
That's
me
what I
happy
want
to
to
see
say.
other
It
people
drives us.
Yeah.
We love when we
see
can
other
bless
people
other
happy.
people.
Yeah.
You know, like my favorite show was like that Secret Millionaire show. It's like, God, like that is crazy. You know, the stuff we can do for people and make them smile. Not that it's all about the money, but it helps.
It definitely helps.
But just to see people with that, I don't know, I can't explain it. It's like it's feeling you get inside. Like I just help that person out and they're smiling, they're crying, and they're happy.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's Howard Thurman said it. I'm probably not quoting it right. In one of his books, he said, that thing that makes you come alive, do that. That's what the world needs more of. So it's like when you're doing something for the money or not for the money, when you're doing it, it just make you feel like so crazy, dope, excited inside. It's like God, it's vibes, it's like intuition. It's like all of that mixed up, and you just feel like the best that you've ever felt. And it's like you wake up the next morning like, yesterday was crazy.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? You know, and it's like you might not have received all the money you were worth for what you did, but it's just like that feeling of gratitude. They actually, it was almost like a disservice because you got more out of the deal than they got.
That's it.
You know?
Right.
And I think we can say oftentimes we feel that way.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, you know, people come to us like, I really don't have that, which you gave me.
Yeah.
And so we're like, so what can we do?
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. So what can you afford?
Right.
You know, what's your vision? So for us, we walk with our clients from beginning to end. I'm always emailing. We just now incorporated what we call a mood board. Oftentimes our clients come to us, they're not sure what colors, they don't even know how to put things together. So I start to pull on other people and I say, well, what's your vision?
Gotcha.
What are you envisioning for this photo shoot? I don't know.
Gotcha.
I said, so let's talk about how are you going to use the images? You know, what does that look like? What are your colors? What are they representing? What are you looking for to come out of this? And then I start to create what they tell me, this mood image for them with the colors that they want. I say, is this what you're looking for?
Wow. See, I love it. And see, here's my fear that I used to have. I listened to this crazy guy named Gary Vee. You guys ever heard of him? Gary Vee? So he's this little short white guy, just totally crazy and weird and strange. But it's just like, and he cuss a lot like on his videos and stuff like that. So it's like, my spirit sometimes like, okay.
The entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've seen him.
I love this dude. Yeah. So one of the things he says sometimes is like, I'm not afraid of sharing my ideas because I know 99% of the people that's listening, they don't have the effort and hard work to actually bring it to pass anyway. So you can have my idea. Right. So it's like, as you guys are talking, I'm like, man, it's gonna be some other videographers and photographers like, man, I'm about to take their idea. But it's just like, the reason they can't is because they're not true.
Exactly.
So it's like, as they try to do and emulate anything that you're doing, they're not gonna have the same spirit attached to it. Right. They're not gonna have the same love. They're not gonna have the background and experience. And then God made you guys totally different than he made them. So it's like, when you try to walk in somebody else's shoes, it's not gonna work.
Yeah, I talk to videographers and other photographers like quite often, especially on Instagram.
Okay.
And I don't care, you know what I'm saying? They have a question for me, I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah,
and if I don't know, I'm gonna say, let me find out, or let me ask my wife. Because, you know, she's behind the camera a lot more as far as, you know, photography than I am.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you have a question, ask me. I don't care, because I love to share and I love to connect and meet people. You know, it's like nothing better than knowing the next guy. You know, so it's enough out there for everybody. So let's just get it. You know. Yeah.
And I gotta say, bro, man, I love your work.
Thank you so much.
Like, love it. Not just like you see a couple things, oh, that was nice. I love it.
Thank you.
To the point where I'm like telling my wife, babe, look at this one. It's like, babe, okay, I saw a couple of them, babe, I'm good. Like, no, look at this one too. Because like, after meeting you guys at Tier's event, I was just like, man, they're really good people. But you know, sometimes, let's just be honest, you'll see some really good people. They have a love for God, they're genuine, but sometimes they just suck. They're not good.
Yeah.
And we just have to be honest with that. I mean, you know, that's not trying to throw shade. It's just, you're just not good at what you do.
Yeah, just keep it 100.
Right. But then after seeing the finished product of that event and some of the other stuff you did, I was like, this guy really has a passion for what he does. And I think that most of the time people don't really understand that correlation. Like, yes, you're a child of God, but it doesn't mean just because you got this God component that you can suck. Like, you really got to work hard with your craft. Like, you got to learn, you got to develop, you got to really market yourself correctly.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because, you know, people. There's all kind of people out there.
Yeah.
You don't know what kind of reactions you'll get or outcomes. So
Exactly.
that's why I love when we go and we talk to people. Like, we don't charge for consultations.
Gotcha.
Because to me, that's just part of the process.
Gotcha.
I don't want to charge you extra for that.
Yeah.
I want to know your idea and I want to know your vision because I want to create this product that you're going to love.
Yeah.
Hopefully, when you love it, you'll tell the next person. And
Absolutely.
That just bring a wealth of information and knowledge to us and connects. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like us meeting you at today's event, like that was crazy.
Yes.
I was like, man,
man.
all is off the
Right,
hook, man. You know what I'm saying? It was like crazy.
Yeah.
After I went back and read your bio and
Yeah,
everything.
I
and
appreciate
I
it.
was like, he does books and all that. He got a family and kids. I'm like, doing a lot, man. It's like, it's crazy.
That's
But
what's up.
I love to talk to people and get to know because you need to know what they want so you can put together something at the end that they're going to love.
Absolutely.
And each and every person, like my wife always tells me, an individual. That's why we like to cater to each individual client differently.
Yep.
You know, just to to make them happy. That's the bottom line, to make them
That's
happy.
our goal.
And I think that's a really good way to look at it.
That's our goal. I would say that definitely, especially with him. I don't know. We both do. So we do have a process. When we're on a session and we go back home, we sit down, not that night probably, if it's a wedding or something, but we do sit down and look at every single picture or every frame, every footage. He comes to me and say, hey, well, the family is involved. My kids are. They tell him about
that's my
his
first
work.
round right there.
Okay.
I sit in the living room. I got it up on the screen. Check it out and tell me, and I get critiques from everybody.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? I love that. From my 10-year-old son to my 16-year-old daughter, I get 3 critiques.
Okay.
You know? I love that. You know, they're the biggest piece of my audience. Right there.
Yeah. And see, their perspective is so important too.
Right.
Because they're not looking at it from the same lens as we are.
Exactly.
And that's why, again, I love the part about going into the individual, because each individual has their own life experiences, their own mindset, their own perspectives, and bringing all that in for a circle, they will be able to give you what they evaluate what you have. So it's like your 10-year-old is like, look, Dad, I think you're great, but I don't like this one. Or maybe you should make a tweak. And then,
House, man.
hey, but I can only imagine because
man.
I have I have an 8-year-old daughter, and she lives with her mom in Solon. So she's super duper smart, so brilliant, and she'll tell me things that I think that like a 25-year-old little girl should say.
Exactly.
And sometimes it's hard to hear it because like I cut my beard off one time. She said, well, what are you doing? And I said, well, I cut my beard off. She's like, you shouldn't have did that. And I'm thinking, well, how the heck would you like?
Right.
You're not like in college. Like, how do you know? It's just like, well, like I know it wasn't growing on one side, but it was fine the way it was. Dad, like you should have just let it grow. I'm like, okay. And it's like we are trying to work on this book together. Her and I, it's called The Family of Elephants. So since my wife and I have 6 kids all together because we're blended, like we're incorporating all the kids, my wife and I, and it's a family of elephants. So everybody has their own little character. And she told me, it's like, when are we working on the book? I said, we'll work on it. Thinking like, okay, you're 8 years old, you're a little excited about it, but you want to play with your toys and stuff. So it's like, when are we going to do this, Dad? Because I want to like show my friends. So I'm like, okay. So it's like, I get it. So it's really good that you guys are involving the kids, even at this age, because that's teaching and grooming them to get to where they need to be ultimately one day.
Yeah, we're real transparent with our kids, from a lot, like from relationship stuff to credit to your future, college information, like, all across the board. Like we're transparent. Like they'll come and ask us questions. I remember the 13-year-old, my daughter. The first time she came, and she said, "So, how much do you guys make doing your business?"
Wow.
So I looked at my wife and I said, "Go ahead and answer." My 16-year-old says, when she was younger, "What's credit?" So let's tell her what credit is. It's important because you got to know these things.
Absolutely.
It's important because that's a number that they control you with. You know what I'm saying? So, well, they try to.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't want to go into my whole conspiracy theory with this, but like education right now is like bothering me, guys. It really is, because it's like you guys are teaching kids about credit, business, money, entrepreneurship. If that's what we are striving to do as a world and a country, why not teach our kids that in school? It's like we're teaching them go to school to get a job, but not really explaining to them what student loan debt is.
My wife can handle that. She was a teacher for a long time. She can answer that question.
Well, I did. I co-taught as an instructional assistant with Urban City School District for almost 8.5 years. And you're right. You know, there are things that I think we do not touch on. And it's because there are so many other people that are driving that piece.
Because I feel like it's a business.
It is. Oh, it is.
Right.
I mean, let's be real.
Yeah.
It is a business. And I think, you know, you have different people who are in their own different area who push, let's say they're different activists for different things.
Yeah.
You have people who do it for education, and you have people who do it for cultural. You have, you know, for cultures, you have people who do it for different things. And I think when people are aware of what they're good at or passionate about, they can drive that. And so for us, knowing that it's not in our kids' school district, that then it's our job as parents to pull not just from us, but to pull from our aunts, to pull from our friends, to pull from Manny, and all those different people to say, hey, look at what they're doing. You know, look at what mom and dad is doing. And not being ashamed to talk about that income for them.
Yeah.
This is what we made this year, and we may make more or less the next year. Not being afraid to talk about credit, not being afraid to, you know, because, you know, oftentimes we find ourselves in situations that we don't want to be in, but when we show our kids how we can get out of that, you know, and the road to getting out of that, I think is so valuable that they know, you know, how to do that and the tools to be able to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's really, really tough for our kids nowadays because we were taught when somebody created this whole thing. I mean, because think about it. There was a time when college didn't exist. And then thinking back to, let's say, maybe 40, 50 years ago, you could probably get a whole education for probably $500. And then it went to $1,000, then it $5,000. Then we got to raise this up. A lot of people are coming, so now it's $10,000. And now $20,000, and it's just like, it's really ridiculous that we want all these people to get the training, the knowledge that they need to work at a job in order for our economy to be better. But we put a price tag on it, and a very hefty price tag at that. So for me, I probably have over $100,000 in student loan debt because I got my master's, I got my bachelor's, and I was working on my doctorate. But I had to stop because I ran out of student loan debt, and they told me it was $1,900 in order to finish for each class to finish my dissertation. So I just can't do it right now. I got a family to take care of, but they don't care.
They don't. They do not care. They do not care. And that's where I also think what's really important when we're thinking about that careers, especially when we're talking to our youth and our young people about those things, to look at what's growing, like USA Today. They often put out, you know, what the most of the top 10. And the last time I looked at it, it wasn't even master degrees. It was the degrees that are at Tri-C, you know, those things that, and so oftentimes we're pushing our kids for those masters. I have a master's as well, but what are you interested in? What are you? Let's look at the fastest growing fields right now. Let's see how we can tap into that with what you're interested in. And look at those things so we don't find our kids in debt. And we can teach them about scholarships. We can teach them about the things that we didn't have. College Credit Plus. You know, all these programs that colleges are offering for our children to be able to go to school for free. Take advantage of that.
And it's so crazy now that, you know, speaking about Gary Vee, he said in one of his podcasts the other day that just like for African Americans, we see this path of try to be a rapper, try to go NBA, some sports thing, and try to be an artist and all these different things. And the problem is it's oversaturated at this point. And yeah, people are making it, but it's so hard to make it because there's so many people doing it. So he made the argument, he said, now the tough thing in 2018 is all white young Americans are striving to be entrepreneurs. So just like we are told, hey, be a rapper, be a basketball player, they're told, be an entrepreneur. So all of them are getting funded, and with these venture capitalists and stuff like that. But then the problem is now they got this money, but their company isn't growing.
Right.
So you got this huge pool of young white Americans doing absolutely nothing. And then he argues the point that, okay, yeah, it's really cool to have this nest egg and your parents gave you $1 million in a trust fund, but that's a lot harder to live off of than us struggling sometimes making $20,000 or $30,000 because we know what it's like to struggle.
That's it.
Right.
And now we can grind harder to get out of there. But if you already start with $1 million, you don't know struggle. You don't know hard times.
Right.
No, it's better to, in my eyes, a lot of times, it's better to start from the bottom and work your way up.
Yeah.
I always tell my wife, I said, because she's like, we should play the lottery sometime, because we don't. I'm like, that's cool. I would love to hit the lottery, but I would actually love to work for my money.
Yeah.
To say that I earned it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
And I can
yeah.
tell my kids, like, I took these paths, this step, and this is what I did to create this. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Just like my wife was talking about that CCP program. Like, both of my daughters, basically since the 8th grade, have been taking college courses.
Wow.
It's like, I just want them to, know what it's like.
Yeah.
My wife found the information. I'm like, well, let's do it. That way when you get to the college, it won't be such a shock to you.
Exactly.
I've already been through the process.
Exactly.
Since you was in the 8th grade, and now you handle it like, this is cool. I can do this.
Absolutely.
I think so too with what you stated and you too, Alexis, about that struggle. It creates our character as well, and who we are and how we view the world, our worldview, and things that we're willing to do, not out of desperation, but out of, I can push harder. I've been there. I know how to struggle. I know how to utilize my resources and what's the next thing? Who can I pull on now? And I think when we learn that we can reach out and not be so ashamed to talk to people about our struggle and find out what's out there to be able to help us, we can move past that and to be able to help a whole nother community of people who may not reach out and want to do that. So.
I love it. And see, for me, guys, it's so many people that's fronting on Instagram, Facebook.
Oh.
And it's like, you showing your really expensive house, you got this car, you really barely making it, let's just be honest, but you feel like you got to do it for the gram, for everybody to see, and that's actually going to help you blow up because they see that you have all this stuff. But for me, it took like a fast from social media.
I remember that.
Yeah, and when I got back, God just showed me so many things. Like, you know what, man? Just because everybody else is doing it one way, like, you can totally switch it up.
Yes.
Like, you don't have to do it the same way.
Yes.
So he kept giving me all these different ideas. And two of them that really stuck out to me that I remember was start sharing your story about where you are. Because that's going to give everybody else the confidence to be who they are. Now, you're still going to have some people that's fronting, but give some people the boldness to share their story, like, because I share, like, hey, I'm an author, wrote 3 books, but for months and months I didn't sell any books whatsoever. I go to a full-time job every day. I don't make a whole lot, but I'm trying to work my business. I wish I had more clients, but I don't. I'm not going to get on here and say, yeah, I was meeting with my client yesterday, and they just paid me $1,000. Like, no, they didn't. No, they didn't, and that's okay. I don't have to front, and it's like, even in regards like to having events, the Lord showed me, like, okay, hey, what if you had an event, you didn't even care who came because it was about the impact. That if 1 or 2 people were really changed, that's all that really mattered, versus, okay, I had this event, 50 people showed up, I took some great pictures, I called Lex, he was a videographer, it was dope, but nobody left changed.
Yes, and that's so real. That's so real. When I started, I branched off and started Pursue It All. And what Pursue It All is about is God gave us many, many gifts and talents. And I feel like at one point in my life, I struggled with, I had to be this, I had to be that. When I said be, I mean in this profession or this thing that I do. And over the years, I found out that I have more than one gift and I have more than one talent. Why not pursue it all? Why not pursue all of that? and you know, in God's will. And so I am a photographer. I am a licensed professional counselor. I'm a mother. You know, I'm a doctor at some point. I'm a wife. You know, I'm a cousin. I'm all of those things. And so when oftentimes people feel like they're stuck. You know, they're stuck. I've been on this job for 30 years. I can't do anything else. I didn't get my degree. And so I talk to people about, so what's next? What can you do?
Right.
What are you interested in? What did you push up under the rug? What vision? What are those goals that you did let go? What did you give up on? And so we start to talk about those things, and I put out encouraging words to pursue it all. Like, you know, sometimes today isn't a good day. Every time I'm not going to put a picture on there where I'm smiling, because it's not that kind of day.
Listen.
It's just not. It's just not that kind of day. I'm not going to go in and put on my makeup. I do have a scar over here, and y'all going to see that sometimes.
You're going to see that sometimes.
It's not all the time. I mean, this is who I was talking with someone the other day who reached out to me about that, and she was like, well, I didn't get my hair done. And I said, but if your ducks will never be all lined up. And so that will always be an excuse for you. Sometimes we just gotta be. And I said, who wants that pressure of having to go on there? I gotta do my makeup, and that's fine. I'm not taking that away from anybody, but I'm saying, be you. Be who you are, because like you said, when you took a fast and you said that you wanted to, you know, God told you to be a little bit more transparent about where you were. People know when you're being authentic. They can pick that up. And guess what? That's when we touch people the most, because they're like, I'm not alone in this. It's somebody else out there just like Manny Hall, like MTK, who are struggling and who go through things just like I do. Instead of putting pictures on there where you smiling every day and telling people that you're happy every single day.
Because you're not.
Because you're not. And you're not. You may be at peace. I do believe peace lives in our home and in our lives and in our community and in our house and our heart. But what I will say is, oftentimes people, when we're trying to reach them, they need to know the real. That this is me today. Yesterday I was good. I wasn't. But you know, today's mood is not so good. And so let's talk about that. Let's talk about we're in different moods on different days and different hours, for that matter, because anything can happen.
You know, Lex, it messed me up when someone told me probably about 6 months ago that they were out in LA and had some friends out there, and they ran across like one of these like huge Instagram models, like just banging body, and come to find out this girl sleeping on somebody's couch, but she got 1 million followers. She posting pictures all the time.
I kind of had to go through that with our 16-year-old. Not now so much, because she's kind of mostly come out of it, but when she first started like seeing stuff, but she, you know, we didn't let our kids like have like social media. But they always look at our stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, she's like, ooh, I heard about this person, I seen this, so that her friends would be on there. So I said, well, go ahead, you know, I'm monitoring you, go ahead. But then she would start seeing things and seeing stuff, and why don't I, and what happened, and this, that, and the other, and me and my wife like had to sit down and like pull her back, like, that's a front. I'm pretty sure it is, you know what I'm saying? Because it can be, but most of the time to me it is, because people don't want to show, like you said, their bad days and the bad stuff, especially not young folks. They just really get on there and want to stunt, like big time. So I was telling my daughter, I said, well, just kind of know, be a little bit transparent and look through what you see. Because everybody doesn't live a high life every single hour of the day. They're all human. So they come down at some point in time.
And it's like, I saw one young lady that had like a whole bunch of followers. And because I'm real nosy with people's life, like I go all the way to the start of your Instagram page. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, her body banging, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, dang, like lips look great, butt, breasts, everything. Like your head shining, everything is perfect. And so going all the way back, she had a boob job, had a butt job, had a lip job, and it's like, Bobo, did you really have to do all of that to make yourself feel better? Like, seriously. And it's like, what I think, it's so messed up. And I think that the majority of us, even sometimes business owners and entrepreneurs, the reason why God doesn't bless us is because he knows that we're just trying to close off that gap between our insecurities. That's it. He knows that we want to go buy that car, buy those nice clothes, finally get into that beautiful house, to finally make ourselves feel better, to close off those insecurities. But the reality of it is, those things still aren't going to make you feel better.
It's temporary.
Yeah.
It's temporary, Manny. And the one thing I can think about that is like, I guess at this day in my life, I'm 40, and having had several new cars, you get that new car, it smell good, you like, it do what? Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
We about to drive, then it get about 40,000 miles, you good, and next few months you like, and then it's all. Now you looking out the window, looking at the other car, like, oh, they came out with what?
Exactly.
It's temporary.
Yep.
It's temporary, so it's very important to know the things that drive you and things that you're truly passionate about, not what you see other people are passionate about and what they care about, but to get to do a self-evaluation. I talked about that on Pursue It All, to get to know you. Stop for a minute and get to really truly at 40, at 10, at 70, at 80. I talk to all different types of people in my interviews about who is that person, how did you become to who you are today. And if you haven't, how can I help you get there?
I love it.
How can I help you get there? Because it oftentimes it is a front. It is I gotta keep up with this person. And like you said, we don't truly really know the lives that people are living off social media, off, behind the camera. I used to know I had someone very close and near and dear to me in my life that smiled all the time. She had a beautiful smile. All the time.
All the time since I've heard
her,
she smiles.
And no one knew that this individual was getting beat every day.
Wow.
Every single day. But she would come out with a smile. I'm good. How you doing? I'm all right. I'm good. But I would know what she was really, really, really struggling with. And so we don't know the lives of the people that we're crossing, and so when we feel that thing in us that says reach out a little harder, see what's really going on, not with getting in anyone's business or like that, but we can even just say I know you said you good, but I'm here for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm here for you. I'll walk through whatever this is with you.
Yeah.
And people need us to do that because oftentimes they're not going to reach out to
That's
us. And the social media fronts are the coping skills. Those are the coping mechanisms that they're using to be able to cope with whatever that they're struggling with or that they're dealing with and that they're going through. So
I totally agree. Now, how did you guys meet? So y'all was in high school.
Well,
so first, my school, I was in my junior year of high school, and it closed. John Adams High School.
Okay.
And I was in an honors program there, and it's moved to his school when it closed. And I was an East Sider, and his school was on the West Side, John Marshall. And so I was going back and forth with my mom if I was going to be able to get over there and stay in the program. And I did. I was able to get over there and stay in the program, but it was totally focused. I don't want no boyfriend. I ain't making no friends. I don't know these people. This is my last year in high school. And here comes Alexis Rogers in my homeroom classroom asking me for some of my orange juice.
I couldn't think of nothing else to say. Can I have some of your orange juice? She's like, I'm about to let you drink my orange juice. But I was just my way. I just wanted to feel her out, see how,
Yeah.
But I would see her in the back of the room every day because her hair was straight. She would just be combing in the mirror. And I wonder where my daughter gets that from. But I said, your mother did that. Every morning before school, just combing. But I think like about 4 days later, I finally gave her my number. They said, call me, but she still didn't call me for like a week after that.
Okay.
But I was on her every day, like, what happened? Like, why you ain't call me? My dudes were telling me in school, like, man, leave her alone, man. I tried to holler at her. She ain't. She told me later on, like, I didn't, like, because I was focused. I didn't want to. And she finally called me, and I was like, yeah, man, I got in. But she is cool, she's cool, because she cute, little chocolate girl in the back of the classroom. But, hey, 20-some years later, we here.
Wow, I love it. Has it been perfect?
Absolutely not. Especially because we work in business together. Oh no.
Yeah, but even throughout those years, you had high school stuff. You had your early year thing.
Yeah.
She went to Toledo for a minute, for school and came back. I was here. we broke up for a minute. You know, the whole thing.
Yeah.
We've been through kind of like it all. You know,
Yeah.
family. We done been through deaths. You know, family members and. You know, high points and low points. We travel like crazy. You know, we went like a lot of places.
Wow.
We haven't been out the country though. Isn't that like crazy? You know, so that's something we got to do now. But we like through the states, like we've been everywhere.
So where do y'all want to go?
I want to go to Venezuela. My wife wants to go to St. Martin.
Okay.
You know, just short spots. Like we never really, you know, out the country just because we always been doing stuff. You know, college and school and working and you know.
Makes sense.
You know, we take time out for ourselves, but.
No, is this going to be a family trip with the kids or just y'all two?
I was leaving it up to my wife because I told her, I said, I don't care what you do, but we got to go.
Okay.
We're like behind, you know, because everybody's been everywhere. You know?
Yeah.
So I said, I don't care. Just let me know what you want to do. Cause, you know.
I'm not sure. I haven't decided. If it was up to me, of course, it's the family. We're all going, you know, because I want them to experience that too.
Yeah.
I'm always thinking about my babies and my kids, but that can be a weakness and a strength for me.
Gotcha.
Especially with my marriage.
My wife is the same way. Like I say, babe, you know, I'm going to go to Chicago. All right, so we're going to take the kids. I said, no, we're not taking the kids. I don't want to look at them. Like, I'm just being honest. I love them to death, but I don't want to look at them like, I know, but we ain't did nothing for family. If we don't do no family trip for a couple years, I'm okay with that. I need some me and you time. Just straight in the hotel doing what adults do.
Exactly.
Yes.
Going to get something to eat.
Come back and chilling.
Come back chill.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I need some of that because the family time stuff is great, but it's like those memories we need. We need to bond. We need to vibe. And it's something about being in another environment with your wife or your husband. It's like this different feel. So then you come back refreshed. But it's like if you got the kids sometime, you got to worry about, I don't want to eat that. I don't like, you just ate that in Cleveland, but now you don't want to eat it no more.
My son said, I don't eat that no more. When you
Now
stop
you know
eating
I
that?
don't eat that.
When you stop eating that?
Since yesterday.
Right.
Because when we was in Cleveland,
Right.
we still like
Right.
You can't enjoy yourself at the hotel or whatever because the first thing the kids want to do is strip and go to the pool.
Yep.
So you're going to be at that pool for 24 hours out of your time at the hotel.
Yep.
So I'm like, you know, sometimes you got to just, my wife just said the other night, because our room in our house is not like elaborate, you know, but our room is the biggest spot in the house.
Okay.
So the kids would come in there and then flop on the bed, my 16-year-old, you know, in my spot watching
Yeah,
TV.
yeah.
My wife told him the other night, she said, okay, so for the last week, y'all been in here watching TV with us, this and the other. I need y'all out the room at 10 o'clock so I can have some me time with my husband.
Love it.
I did.
I love
And
it.
they said, what?
Yeah.
Are you
So
serious?
my 13-year-old and my sister, they're like, they looked at me and it's like, like, and just looked right back at the TV. I said, I am serious. I said, you know what? Because we are making some moves and trying to, we're looking currently into purchasing a home. I said, there's going to be some different rules when we move. I'm creating me some signs, some really nice signs, because we always did truly pretty much had an open door policy in our home.
Okay.
But I think it's to the point where when we shut our door and you jiggling it and saying, and then you just keep then we need to set some boundaries in our home. And I'm going to create signs along with my husband, and they're going to say, you know, do not disturb or this and that, because they know now that it's okay to just come in our room and chill and talk. They will come in there and talk. We would talk for hours. The family, like we would just be in there talking for hours.
Okay.
And so I just need to start setting some
That's
boundaries.
good.
You know,
even for them, I said, you know, hey, you can have a sign on your door too.
Yep.
You know, we have a little key to get in.
Yeah.
With the parents.
For sure.
But you still have you can still have a door, you know, with a sign, you know, doing your
not
own work.
Not in the mood today.
Yeah.
Not feeling, because I respect that.
That's real.
I value that. When I come home, sometimes I tell them, I'll be like, I'm opening up the door and they standing there and I'm looking like, give me a minute. I need a minute. And, you know, I just have to be trimmed because they would, mommy, you know, and I'm like, I need what, please.
She said, do y'all know daddy's name?
I asked him the other day in the car, I said, are you aware that you don't call daddy's name when we're both in the car and you're just like, and we had that conversation. I said, are you aware of that?
Right.
And so what did you say?
Oh shoot, I can't remember.
I think you said that they talk to us for different reasons. Like when I go pick them up from school, you said when you go pick them up from school, it's a different
Yeah,
conversation
I can see that. Yeah, I
when
can see
we're
that.
both in the car and we go pick them up from school.
That makes sense.
And he said they save those things for you. Not that they don't want to talk to me about them, because he'll be right there, but my one daughter said, I don't want to tell the story all over again, so I'm going to just wait till everybody get in the car.
Gotcha.
And so we dialogue about the day or different
Okay.
things.
Okay.
And, you know, that went throughout the day. But we need to start implementing some boundaries for us, because I'm with you now. You know what? The kids might have to stay out on this trip, because I have to have that time with him.
It's important.
I crave it.
It's
you know,
important.
I have to have my time with my husband.
Because I think what we'll understand, like, as married couples, no matter how much time you spend with this other person, they're still having other things going on in their head. Like, it ever been some times that, like, you come home and you say to yourself, I'm going to tell my spouse this, what happened today. Mm-hmm. But then the kids interrupt. Now you start watching TV. And then it's weeks to go by, like, man, I meant to tell you such and such. Yes. Well, there's so much going on. So then that trip is kind of like y'all just sitting there vibing like, babe, let me tell you what happened 8 years ago. I've been meaning to tell you.
You said 8 years. That's how it be.
I was at work 8 years ago, and the person walked by. That made me mad, and I had to forgive him.
Right.
And you like, 8 years ago?
That's
8 years ago.
But that's what ends up happening. So it's like my wife is at home with our 2 boys, and it's her biological boy. So all mine don't live with us except our little baby that we just had together. Mm-hmm. And so they like all up mommy's butt all day, and it irritates me to the point where I'm like, give her some space, bruh.
Oh my gosh.
So it's like I come in the door, they still, mommy. Like, look, bruh, I know that's your mommy,
yes.
but back up. I need her. I want to talk to her.
Right.
Yes.
And then it's like I get to talking to her like, hey, we need a minute. Now it's like, all right, man, you done talk to my mommy now, so let me get her back.
Right.
Like, go play with your toys, go watch some TV,
yes.
go do something. And then I even tell them, like, me and mommy having a date at 8 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Your bedtime is 8 o'clock. Don't come in here talking about I need some water. I need some tissue. They sitting up here they tell me the other day, but we ain't say our prayers. I said, you can pray to Jesus whenever you want to.
My son.
You ain't got to wait for me to come in there.
That's it.
My son, it'd be quiet in the house. Like, it'd be his bedtime. He'd be going to bed at 8:30, whatever.
Uh-huh.
It'd be like 11 o'clock. We'd just hear his voice like, can one of y'all come pray with me? Why hasn't he been sleeping since that 2 hours ago when he laid down? Like, are you serious? He's still up? What is going on here?
Man, listen. I thought about like a checklist for my one daughter because she's my heart. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I fold for her and I need to stop because she'll be like, Daddy, can I get a cough drop? Daddy, can I get some tissue? Can you give me some honey? Can you do this? I need some tissue. I gotta use the bathroom. And then I one time called her in the bathroom. I said, babe, you've been in here for 5 minutes. Did you have to use the bathroom? She said, yeah. But she just actually chilling in there.
Just sitting.
Just chilling like, man, this feel better than actually going to bed.
Right. What is that?
Yeah, they'll find a way to
They
do
will
stuff.
find a way, man.
They will. And that's where, we got to come in like, are you really doing this? Like, for what? Like, for what reason do you really, like you said, got to go to the bathroom?
Yeah.
And for a minute, it did get me.
Mm-hmm.
It did get me. And I had to,
I'm all
it was
right.
him.
Get out
It
the
was
bathroom.
him.
Come on.
Right,
I had to
right,
be
right.
like,
Right.
why you going to rush him out the bathroom? He like,
Because he
do
just
not
chilling.
have
Right.
to use the bathroom.
And don't let me catch you running that water for 3 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
Why should I?
Oh my gosh.
Just sitting there looking at the mirror.
I'm washing my hands.
Yeah.
No, you not, because then I do the soap test.
Right.
Right. Right. But Adrian, now he come and say, smell.
Terrible. It's terrible.
Does he know what we're going to ask for?
Right.
He
Already.
knows.
Like, my wife
what
likes
we're
to
gonna
clean
ask
house.
for.
Uh-huh.
So I have to eat, like, if she's been, like, counseling or I go pick her up from, a meeting or something, I say, okay, I tell everybody, I say, I need you to come here. So my son will come down and I say, well, you missing 2 people. And he'll say, my sister, Tia, come on. So I wait till they all get in the kitchen and I say, nah, this is your area. Clean this. I need you to do this. And I said, I'm telling you all right now because you don't want your mom to come in the house and she sees something totally different and the opposite, because she's going to flip.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, we'll get it done. You know, but I'm like, I don't want to have to keep telling you that.
Exactly.
But unfortunately, let's have this meeting before I leave, and I come back.
Exactly.
I'm the nice guy. You know, I don't want the wrath to come.
Okay.
In, you know?
And see, I'm the bad guy at home, because sometimes I tell my wife, like, you too nice, babe. I said to clean the room, and she like, well, I told him. I said, but how did you say it? And then after they didn't clean the room, was there any consequence? Like, well, I told them that they can't play with their toy right now.
Right.
That's it.
I'm like, come on, babe. Like, you gotta help me.
Right.
I don't think either of us are that way.
Nah.
Do you think?
Not really, but I do want stuff done, and I need to get it done, because I don't want to have to keep, like my wife, I don't want to tell you over and over.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm trying to teach you some responsibility here.
Exactly.
My son even flips out right now. Like, my daughter got an area, because they're older, and then my son, he's a 10-year-old, but you're not about to get off that easy.
Exactly.
So I need you to learn how to wash clothes.
Exactly.
I need you to iron your clothes.
That's real.
I need you to fold them up.
That's
I need
real.
you to bring the basket upstairs, or whatever it is. So that's
I love
your
it.
job.
I love it.
But I said, now you better start washing dishes, because the other two over there.
Yeah.
They get mad.
They get mad.
Yeah.
But he even sometimes still flips out about that. Like, he's like, and I said, that's your job.
Right.
You got to do that. You got to have some kind of responsibility,
Right.
instead of playing that Switch all day long.
Yeah.
You know, because
That's
everybody sit
real.
on the couch.
Oh my
and
gosh.
play that video game all day long.
That's real. That's
you know,
real.
And luckily, all my kids, they all get A's.
Well, that doesn't matter to me.
I mean, it doesn't, but I mean, that's a problem we don't have to worry about.
I can
Gotcha.
say I have a excellent group of just children. Like I do. I really do. And when people say to me, you know, you're blessed, you know, and I say I realize that. I do. No, I truly do, because I work with children who have special needs, and I interact with parents who do struggle because they have children with special needs, and it is a lot more difficult.
Yeah.
And I was only with them for 2.5 hours, or let's say 6 hours, and so that really opened up my eyes as to not being so hard
That makes sense.
on my children, and just telling God thank you for who they are, and the things you bless them with, the gifts you bless them with, and where we are as a family. Not because I could have it harder, everyone could, but just simply because you blessed us with who you knew that we could culture and create and mold and shape because of who we are as parents or individuals, and to be able to help those who are less fortunate in those areas, to be able to help them and come alongside them and help them do that with the challenges that they have with their children too.
Good, I love that.
I am thankful and I am blessed. I'm a little hard on them when it comes to social media. They have it. Our children have social media, but I know when to pull my daughter back. I know when to tell her, maybe I think it's time for you to take a break. And she'll say, I think so too. You know, I can sense things. I can sense, you know, some stuff going on, or what's going on in school. You know, how are you navigating through that? You know, you may not have found that friend, that close friend by now, but you still got college to go to. And guess what? You choose that person. They don't choose you.
Exactly.
You choose who they are. And so I had them to write down, what are you looking for in a friend?
I love
What
it.
does that look like for you?
I love it.
You know, what are some characteristics? I said, we're not going to like everything about our friend. And some friends, we got to say, we only can deal with them for about 5 hours. And she, you know, she was like, Mommy, yes, you know, I like them, but I only can take about 2 hours of her. And I said, we're going to have people like that. But what are you looking for in this friend that you're asking God to be able to put in front of you and before you? And I said, because He will. I said, talk to God about that. You know, talk to Him about how you're feeling in your heart. Because one of my girls are struggling with, I don't have that close friend like I see some others have. And I said, it'll come. It'll come, and you're going to know. You're not going to be like forming it. It's going to just happen.
That's real.
It's going to happen, and before you know it, you're going to be like, it's 3 years down the line. We still, you know, cool, kicking and talking on the phone, but I don't know how I got there.
No, that was good. That was all good.
I guess maybe it was just on my heart. And some things that our kids struggle with. Just like my son had an issue in school the other day, and we sat down as a family that night. Well, my husband and I were going to sit down, and my 16-year-old said, "Can we do this as a family?" Gotcha. And I said, "Yeah, sure." I was like, "Yeah, let's do that." So we all sat down and we talked about what happened, the incident that occurred with him, and I allowed him to have the opportunity to tell his story from beginning to end. And then we talked about, I went around the room and I said, "How do you respond when a person does these things to you? How do you respond?" And I said, we all respond differently. Yeah. And so let's respect where he was and how he responded, and let's talk about that. Let's give him options and ways he can respond better to these things, because as you can see, we don't all respond the same. You know, our body, I said, "What's going on with your body when you're upset if somebody cuts you off? You know, what are you getting mad? Are you getting a headache? Do your stomach hurt?" You know, all these things. And so after talking about those things as a family, then we can better help him, and he can understand that I'm not in this alone. You know, we all struggle with something at one point in time and another. And so how can I, when the next time this happens, what are some tools that I have in my arsenal to be able to approach this in a different way so I don't find myself in trouble like I did? And I like that we were able to talk about it as a family. We're going to start doing that more.
Okay. So what's next for business, guys?
When we leave here, we are doing a grand opening for a food truck at Southgate. So we were hired to take pictures for that. So I'm excited about it. I'm always excited about my sessions. You'll probably do more of that because it's an event. But for MTK, I think the next level of that is Lex Daniels branching off. And he started to, one of our visions was creating our dream clients, which are more corporate clients, more nonprofit organizations. And I don't want to speak a lot for you, but for Pursue It All, it would be, that's branched off from MTK, it would be including Lex Daniels as my videographer, and I'm interviewing people about what does that mean, Pursue It All. You know, how did you get to where you are? How are you helping others? So,
thank you.
So we're going to be putting you on a list.
I'm on it.
As an interviewer, person to be interviewed. But that's it. MTK is branching out corporately and on a different level.
We're going to go wherever God takes us.
Absolutely.
You know, we have our, visions and goals, but, whatever our path is that he sets, that's what we're going to walk in.
I love it. All right. Any last words before we roll out?
No, we just enjoy doing this interview right here. This is like awesome, man. Like nobody's ever done this before. Like,
I know.
We're usually behind the lens. You know what I'm saying?
I said, Manny reached out to me. I said, what? I was like, is this real? I went back in there. I'm like, is this real? So yeah, and I showed my husband. I was all excited. And I was like, oh, he moved quick. He asking me for dates. And, so I wasn't expecting that.
But it's a good thing you're doing. I looked at a couple of past videos, and it's real nice, man.
I appreciate it.
Love this. Love this. Stay encouraged,
please.
People.
I definitely will.
I just want to, say stay encouraged. Keep pushing. That's my thing. My daughter made a video about pushing. That my husband, and she wrote, but my husband.
I saw that when she was on the track.
Yeah.
That was dope.
Yes. She just always encouraging people to push, and you can do it. She's been there where she's almost wanted to give up, and we were there rooting her on, and she was like, I'm not. I'm just gonna keep pushing. So keep pushing, people. Stay encouraged. Be
Definitely
encouraged.
will. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for your time.
No problem.
Manny Hart Show. We out. Peace.